Hi, I'm Will and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making some wheat apple pies. We're kind of modeling them after that nostalgic like drive-thru apple pie. I'm sure you've bought a few of those when you're stoned, but now you can do both at once. Two birds at one stone. Yeah. Yes. So here you see we've got about an ounce of decarbed wheat that's all ready to go to make into some butter. So I'm going to bring it over to the stove. Okay, so we've got our decarbed wheat here, but before we deal with this, we're going to melt some butter. We've got about a pound's worth of butter here. When you turn your stove on, you want it pretty much as low as it can. You just want a slight simmering. We're going to mix this butter in. Take your time. Don't worry about the paste, just take it slow so nothing burns. You're not going to put the wheat in until it's all melted. Do you know that Shakespeare could have been a stoner? In 2001, anthropologists actually found marijuana residue left over in his personal smoking pipe. Okay, it's all melted, so now we're ready to add the wheat to the butter. There we go. So now we're going to turn the oven far down, close to simmer really. And we're going to keep it at that for 2 to 3 hours while we gently stir it. That's going to be a while, but once it's done, we're going to strain it through a cheesecloth and then just let it cool down for a while. After that, it'll be ready to go for our project. I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so we've got our wheat butter. It's all cooled and ready for cooking. But first, we're going to have to peel and dice some apples. Honeycrisp. This is a Honeycrisp apple, which is really good for baking because it's soft and sweet and it doesn't require a lot of other additions to it. Just peel the apple as such. So these are very soft apples, which means you don't have to cook them in the pan for very long, and so they won't get as burnt and there's less of a chance of losing any of the THC content. Okay, now that the apple's peeled, we have to dice it up. You want the pieces to be small, but not too small. First, we've got to... You want to make sure you're being really careful when you're with your fingers when you're doing this. Okay, we've got all these now. We can put them in this bowl. And we're gonna go over here to make our filling. Okay, so now we're ready to make the filling. I'm gonna put this down, and then we're gonna put in 2 tablespoons of the wheat butter. That's equivalent to about 80 milligrams. We're making 5 to 6 pies, so that's like 15 milligrams each per pie. And so after we've put that in, you just want to dump all the apple slices. You want to turn the stove up to like a medium temperature. You don't want to burn it too much. And then I'm going to squeeze half a lemon over the apples. This is going to prevent them from oxidizing. They won't get all brown and gross. And it'll add a little flavor as well. Okay, we're just gonna cook these for a little bit. So you're waiting for the apples to get soft and warm, and then once they reach that point, you're ready to add the rest of the ingredients. This is a really easy filling to do. There's a few steps involved, but it's actually pretty simple. It doesn't take many ingredients, and it's really delicious, so I recommend it. It's starting to look just about right. I think we're ready to add the rest of our ingredients. So first we're gonna add a bit of cornstarch. This will help thicken the consistency of the filling. And then this is just cinnamon for flavor. Now some nutmeg. Awesome. Nutmeg is pretty awesome. It adds quite a twist. Okay, now you need a big thing of brown sugar. Oh, It all kind of came out in a clump. You just want to mix it evenly throughout. And last, you just want to add some water. Then you just want to keep mixing it up. Just keep stirring till you get that really nice thick consistency. Apple pie, obviously, is an American tradition. This is a bit more of an alternative America, but it's still really delicious. And the way we're making them, it's great for on the go. It's amazing for a picnic, a festival. It's just a good thing, and if it gets you high, then that's just a bonus, I guess. Okay, turning the heat down. It's simmering. Okay, so once it starts to get really syrupy, you want to pull it off and let it cool. Okay, so now we're ready to cool our filling. So we're gonna just empty it all off onto this tin foil pan. Just kind of spreading it out so it just can cool quickly, nothing too complicated. Okay, so now our filling's ready to be cooled, so we're gonna put it in the fridge for like 5 minutes. So we'll check on that in a little bit. Okay, so now our filling's been cooled and we can move on to making our pie crust. So we're just going to be using a store-bought crust. If you made it yourself, you could cook it with wheat butter as well, but we just did it with the filling this time. You want to cut it into 2 squares, but one thing you have to pay attention to is you have to make one of them larger than the other. Just cutting the dough. Okay, so now you sprinkle some cornflakes onto the dough. This will add a stronger base to your crust when it's cooked. Okay, so after that we're ready to add our filling. You want to use a few spoonfuls, not too much. Keep it in the center, don't bring it towards the edges. And then, the reason you make the bigger one is you put that on the top, so when you seal it, it seals really well and it doesn't like explode in the oven or something. So you just put it over and kind of fold the edges of both sides and pinch them. And then, once you're done with that, you can take a serrated blade and just gently cut a few openings in the pie. Definitely excited to get these in the oven. They're gonna be sick as hell, I think. Then, after that, it's pretty much ready. We can put it over here with the rest. Okay, they're pretty much ready to go in the oven now. They look pretty good to me. You want to put them in the oven at about 425 Fahrenheit and leave it in for half an hour, but check on it after 20 just in case. Here we go. Did you know that the cannabis use of adults 15 older has now outpaced the growth of use of any other age demographic? And they're done. Look, they look pretty awesome. It's like they're fresh out of a drive-thru or something. Remember, they're about 15 milligrams each. Know when you're dosing, but have fun if you're able to. I know I'm going to. Enjoy. Thanks a lot. Take care. Take care.